A king cobra rises from the ground. Its hood spreads wide. Its venom is powerful enough to kill an elephant. Almost every animal knows to stay away, but one doesn't. Instead of running, it walks straight toward the snake. No hesitation, no warning, just complete confidence. Moments later, the cobra strikes, again and again. Yet the attacker refuses to back down. It sounds impossible, but this isn't fearlessness, and it isn't luck. The truth is far more surprising, because the honey badger isn't the strongest predator in Africa. It isn't the fastest, and it certainly isn't invincible. So why does one of the continent's smallest carnivores keep challenging animals that almost everyone else avoids? The answer begins with a body built for survival, and a strategy that has fooled people for decades. The honey badger has earned a legendary reputation. You've probably heard the stories, that it fears nothing, that it attacks anything, that it never backs down. But those stories leave out the most important part. The honey badger isn't reckless. It's incredibly smart. In the wild, picking the wrong fight can be fatal. Every predator knows that, and so does the honey badger. Instead of relying on size or strength, it depends on something far more valuable: preparation. Its body is built to survive encounters that would kill most animals. Its loose, rubber-like skin allows it to twist around, even when another predator has already locked its jaws onto its body. Powerful claws tear through hard ground in seconds, uncovering hidden prey and creating emergency shelters when danger appears. Its thick hide offers remarkable protection against bites and scratches, although no animal is completely immune to injury. The honey badger doesn't win because it is fearless. It wins because it is unbelievably difficult to stop, and nowhere is that more obvious than during its encounters with one of Africa's deadliest snakes, a predator armed with enough venom to kill an elephant. Yet somehow, the honey badger keeps walking toward it. The snake strikes first. Its fangs sink into the honey badger's skin. For most animals, that would be the end. But the honey badger keeps moving. This is where the legend begins. Its thick, loose skin makes it difficult for a snake to hold on. Even when bitten, the badger can twist inside its own skin, turn its head, and fight back. But the real advantage is hidden beneath the surface. Some cobra venoms attack the nervous system. They bind to receptors that control the muscles, causing paralysis and eventually stopping the victim from breathing. The honey badger appears to have evolved changes in those receptors, making certain neurotoxins less effective than they would be in many other mammals. But that does not make it immune. A large dose can still overwhelm its body. A deep bite can still cause serious injury. And resistance to one type of toxin does not protect it from every venomous snake. That is why the honey badger does not simply charge without thinking. It circles. It watches the head. It waits for the strike. Then it attacks the most dangerous part of the snake before the snake can recover. Snakes are not just enemies. They are food. Honey badgers are opportunistic hunters. Their diet can include rodents, birds, frogs, eggs, insects, and snakes. So when a cobra rises in front of one, the honey badger does not always see danger. Sometimes it sees dinner. But venom is only one weapon this animal has learned to survive. Because when a much larger predator attacks, the honey badger uses an entirely different strategy. A lion can overpower almost any animal on the African savanna. A leopard is silent, patient, and deadly. A spotted hyena can crush bone with one of the strongest bites in the animal kingdom. The honey badger stands almost no chance against any of them, at least on paper. Yet in the wild, things don't always go as expected. There are documented cases of lions, leopards, and hyenas abandoning an attack after realizing the fight simply wasn't worth the effort. Not because the honey badger was stronger, but because it was too expensive to kill. The moment danger appears, the honey badger becomes a completely different animal. It growls, charges, snaps its jaws, and refuses to stop moving. Its loose skin makes it difficult to hold. Its powerful claws slash at the attacker's face. Even when knocked to the ground, it twists violently, forcing the predator to constantly readjust its grip. For a predator, Every second spent wrestling with a honey badger is another second burning energy, and another chance to suffer a painful injury, a damaged eye, a torn nose, or a deep cut that could become infected days later. For a lion or leopard, survival isn't about winning every fight. It's about avoiding unnecessary risks. That is why experienced predators often choose the easier meal standing just a few meters away. A young antelope, a warthog, or a zebra that cannot fight back as fiercely. The honey badger understands this better than most people realize. It doesn't need to defeat a lion. It only needs to convince the lion that attacking isn't worth the price. And that simple strategy has allowed one of Africa's smallest carnivores to walk away from enemies many times its size. But there is one final myth that refuses to disappear. People often say the honey badger is fearless. The truth is much more interesting than that. People love to call the honey badger fearless, but that isn't really true. In nature, fear is not a weakness. It is a survival tool. Every successful predator knows when to attack, and just as importantly, when to walk away. The honey badger is no different. Researchers have observed honey badgers avoiding unnecessary confrontations when the odds are clearly against them. If food is plentiful, there is little reason to risk a serious injury. A broken leg, a damaged eye, or even a deep bite could mean weeks without hunting. And in the wild, that can be a death sentence. So why does the honey badger seem so fearless? Because it has become a master at reading risk. It doesn't rely on blind courage. It relies on confidence built through millions of years of evolution. When it charges a cobra, it understands its own advantages. When it stands its ground against a leopard, it knows that every second of resistance makes the fight less rewarding for the attacker. Most predators are trying to maximize success while minimizing injury. The honey badger turns that strategy against them. It makes itself the most expensive meal on the menu. That is why so many encounters end without a fight to the death. The predator makes a decision. This isn't worth it. And the honey badger quietly walks away. Not because it won, but because it achieved exactly what it wanted. That may not sound as dramatic as being fearless, but in the natural world, survival has never belonged to the bravest. It belongs to those who make the smartest decisions. And that is the real reason the honey badger has earned one of the fiercest reputations in the animal kingdom. The honey badger is not invincible. It can be injured. It can be killed. And despite the legend, it does feel fear. But fear does not control it. That is the difference. Its thick skin helps it survive the first attack. Its loose body allows it to twist free. Its claws turn defense into offense. And its resistance to certain venoms gives it a second chance when most animals would have none. But its greatest weapon is not hidden in its skin. It is hidden in its decisions. The honey badger knows how to make danger hesitate. It does not need to overpower a lion. It does not need to outrun a leopard. It only needs to become too difficult, too painful, and too costly to attack. So the next time you see one standing before a cobra or charging a predator many times its size, remember this. It is not fighting because it believes it cannot lose. It is fighting because sometimes refusing to run is the smartest way to survive. Which honey badger ability surprised you most? Tell us in the comments. And for more dangerous encounters, strange creatures, and hidden survival stories, subscribe to Wild Unknown. The wild is full of secrets, and we are only beginning to uncover them.